this episode of the Josh Zodiac podcast, I have on not one, but two special guests. We have on Kyle Smith, and we also have on Charles Richardson, not Robinson. He doesn't like it, and we will not call him Little Nate, just a heads up. We'll be talking about the Hall of Fame 2025, talking about who should be in the Hall of Fame. It gets a little controversial. Talk about Carmella's contract relapsing, and we also talk about the John Cena heel turn, and a week later, how we feel about it and everything in between. We get off topic, but that's what we expect on this show. You don't want to miss it. This is the Josh Zodiac podcast. Welcome to a new episode of the Josh Zodiac podcast, the podcast that has no agenda and no script as far as you know. This is the podcast that believes that Chris Benoit deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. We will get into that in a moment, but currently I have not one, but two guests on the show. First, let me introduce Mr. Kyle Smith, the proprietor of the Doggone Sports podcast. How are you, sir?
Man, I couldn't be better. How are you?
I am out fucking standing. And yes, you can cuss on my podcast, by the way. I don't give a fuck. I'm former Navy. I don't give a fuck. And also, along with Mr. Kyle Smith, I have Charles Robinson, the host of the Charles Richardson. Sorry, I was thinking of somebody totally different.
Okay.
I'm sure it happens. The Charles Richardson Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, but you know what? That's actually not the worst name I've been called. For whatever reason, even when I go ahead and hand business cards or people that know my name, hi, Richard. No, I'm not Dick. Not a dick. Richard, not Richard. Stop that. I don't even know where it came from.
Yeah,
it's not Carl or Chris or Chuck. No, it's Richard.
Wow. Maybe that's a nice way of them saying you're a dick. I don't know. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
Exactly. I try not to be a dick.
Well, you know, sometimes people just bring it out of you. You know, you can't help it. We are all wrestling fans here. Just really quickly, Kyle, what year did you start watching wrestling?
Everybody that asks me about wrestling, I tell them the same story. So when I was about 8 or 9, I mowed lawn during the summer to save up, and I want you guys to make sure you're sitting down with the technology that's about to hit you.
Okay.
I saved up for a 19-inch tube television that had a remote.
Ooh.
So that I could watch what we had in the area right then was, of course, Saturday night's main event, WWE.
Of course.
And then we had a local regional promotion called Universal Wrestling Federation with Bill Watts.
Okay.
And so those are the two programs that I primarily watched. So this is mid 80s.
Okay. And how about you, Charles?
I would have to say probably my junior year of high school, and that was in 95.
Damn, late bloomer. Damn.
Yeah, I was, well, I'm 40. Yeah. I mean, I got turned on to wrestling with some coworkers at Winn-Dixie. This guy worked in the meat department. I was in the produce, and all of a sudden he just started talking about like, "Hey, why don't you come over and watch this thing? Watch WWF." I'm thinking, "What the hell is that?" And all of a sudden I'm seeing The Rock come out and spit out fire and everything like that. And it's like, well, okay, yeah. So we started having matches in the garage. We got plywood and everything. Nice. We started breaking tables. It was great.
95, that was like on the cusp of the Attitude Era too. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I got in a real good time.
For me, it was right after WrestleMania 1. I was flipping the channels on the cable because we had cable as a kid. Not many did in our neighborhood. And I cut across this gentleman with these big rimmed dark glasses and this big cowboy hat and this green suit with strings hanging off. And he was like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Who the fuck is this?" And I was instantly drawn to it. And that was like what, 86, I think? 87? Yeah, my mom was like, "Oh no, he found wrestling. It's over." And I've been a fan ever since. And we've gone through some good, we got through some bad. But the first thing we want to talk about today is the 2025 Hall of Fame inductees so far. We have Triple H, we have Michelle McCool, and we recently just announced Lex Luger will be in the 2025 Hall of Fame. I can say Triple H, long overdue, 100% long overdue. How do y'all feel about Michelle McCool being in the Hall of Fame?
Go ahead, Kyle. You can go first on this one.
I'm fine with it. I feel like that's an appeasement to the Undertaker. I mean, she had a great career, but I feel like there are other female wrestlers that would probably be more deserving of that. So I'm okay with it because I understand the politics behind closed doors. It was going to happen. Whether it was this year, next year, or in 2031, Michelle McCool was going to get in.
Yeah.
I take part of your statement, and I basically will blow it up. I think this is all appeasement to the Undertaker. This has nothing to do, or very little to do, with Michelle McCool, and more towards the Undertaker. Really, to be honest with you, I'm not saying that she's a bad wrestler or a bad performer. It's just when you go ahead and mention women of wrestling, you don't hear her. You don't hear her at all. You'll go ahead and mention Trish Stratus. You'll go ahead and mention Mickey James. You go ahead and mention Lita. Michelle McCool is so far down that radar. I mean, I don't give her any credit to be in the Hall of Fame, to be honest with you.
I have to agree with that. And my thing on it is I don't have a problem with it, but if you're going to do Michelle McCool, you should have put in Layla. Lay Cool should have gone in together, and that was it. It shouldn't have been one or the other. It should have been both at the same time. And I agree. I agree. I agree.
The other thing that I noticed, almost right at the same time as Michelle McCool gets announced for the Hall of Fame, Mickey James gets pulled from LFG, and now Michelle McCool is going to replace her on television.
Yeah, I caught that. Yeah, that's some politics right there. Because, I mean, I know Mickey James deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame too, but she's still actively performing, so I get why they haven't done it yet. But if you're trying to appease the Undertaker, I don't think he cares either way. I don't think he's that kind of person to be like, well, if you're not going to put her in and be a dick about it, but.
Well, let me debunk that last one. Just because she's still performing, she's not performing under the WWE brand, number one. Number two, there's this one person who wears a mask called Rey Mysterio who's in the Hall of Fame, and he's still active.
Okay, that's a fair point. A fair point.
I don't think this is like the NFL Hall of Fame where you have to be retired and not playing anymore for 5 years and stuff like that to go ahead. I think this is just like, dude, you deserve it. Let's go ahead and put you in.
Yeah, and I know there are people that are probably more deserving like you said, in the female division that are more deserving. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it was to appease the Undertaker, which again, I don't think he gives a shit either way. He seems like the interviews that I've seen him in after he retired that he's like, he's just Mark Calloway now. He's not even the Undertaker anymore. He's just like, I'm living life. I'm having fun. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
So
yeah. He's shed that Undertaker status, and now he's just Mark.
But to fans like us who were there from the very beginning at Survivor Series when they introduced arguably the greatest wrestler of all time, and I'm talking about the gobbledygooker, Undertaker, he was such a force and such a phenom to mark on cliche here, but he was just such a presence. And and I know Mark prior just did not have any luck in WCW. He couldn't find his niche, and finally he found it. And then what, 20, 30 years later, he's still in the business, but not performing per se.
Right.
So, we also have Lex Luger. Charles, I'll start with you. How do you feel about that? About him going in?
I think he's well deserved. I think he was a great superstar, and where he's at there, I mean, I think that this has some ties with DDP because he's doing he's going through with DDP. So I think
Yeah.
he may have gotten the Diamond Cutter endorsement there, but yeah, I think Lex is definitely deserving of that.
And I thought it was kind of cool that Cody was the one that went to go, hey, by the way, you're in the, after he gets his ass whooped at Elimination Chamber, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Kyle, what do you think?
I think Lex was held out just because of his involvement with Miss Elizabeth's death. I really feel like he has been pushed aside and pushed aside and pushed aside. And now I think with the new regime at WWE, I think they're opening their minds a little bit more. But there was always that cloud around Lex Luger because of his involvement and drug use, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But he has been deserving for the Hall of Fame for years, and I say that I want to say this just to pull the curtain back. I have been a bigger fan and a bigger proponent of Lex Luger because one of my passions is the original United States Football League that played back in 1983 through 85.
Right.
And Lex Luger was a member of not only the Tampa Bay Bandits, but he was also a member of the Memphis Showboats. So for me, the warm and fuzzy feeling about Lex Luger finally getting in the Hall of Fame is probably just a little bit amplified for me.
Of course.
Because I've been a fan of his on multiple levels.
And I kind of have to agree with you about the whole Miss Elizabeth death, because me personally, I was the first woman I ever loved was Miss Elizabeth. She was just the embodiment of perfection and beauty and all that stuff. And when everything that went down, it went down. I was like, I hated Luger for like the longest time. Just like, I hate you. You killed one of the greatest women superstars, valets of all time. But as time progresses, we tend to forgive and forget. And I do feel it is long deserved, long overdue. So I am happy that he's going to be going in. There is, just a little bit of me like, well, jerk killed her, but whatever. It is what it is. Wrestling fans do not forget. And I know they've talked about that in press conferences and stuff like that, that wrestling fans do not forget anything. They will find it. They will throw it out there for everyone to see. So, with that being said, Kyle, who do you think should be in the Hall of Fame that is not in the Hall of Fame as of right now?
I kind of go back to our previous conversation. I hate to punt because it sounds like I'm copping out, but I really do like the idea of Mickie James and her body of work throughout not only WWE but through other wrestling promotions. She's been there, she's done that, she's remade herself over. I really think that she is deserving, and I also agree with the earlier conversation about Layla. I mean, I think I really feel like the women's division is getting slighted in the WWE Hall of Fame. It feels like what they're doing is they're saying, okay, we need one token female per class to go in just to appease our female fans. And the problem is we live in 2025 and not 1993. We really need to look at the body of work of every performer, every wrestler, whether it's in ring, backstage, behind the scenes. I was ecstatic to see the film coming out called Queen of the Ring.
Yes.
I can't wait for that movie to come out because me personally, I will full disclosure, I will have to do some research before I go see that film, but I am over the moon that film's coming out. So for me, I think the female division has been slighted when it comes to the Hall of Fame, and I think I'm hoping that Stephanie can have an ear in that, so that um, we're more progressive moving forward.
Just a heads up, that movie came out yesterday. Actually, I was actually thinking about going and seeing it later today. Um, and I know for a time, the women's division was two, maybe three names. You had Mae Young, you had the Fabulous Moolah, and then you had Alundra Blaze. Those three names. That was all we knew. We never knew the other names that were there because they 9 times out of 10 they were jobbers. They're the Barry Horowitz of female wrestlers. They just weren't there. Um, but yeah, I agree with and the whole Mickey James thing too. I think you have to accept it. And I think she's not ready to go in yet. Maybe she's thinking that if I go into the Hall of Fame, that's pretty much it for me. I'm done. So maybe she's not ready to hang up her boots yet. What about you, Charles? What do you think?
I'm going to go ahead and say Owen Hart. How the hell is he not in yet?
I can answer that one. It's because his wife, his widow, will not allow it. She's still angry about what happened back in 1999. She's still pissed off about that, and I kind of don't blame her. But
Okay,
but
I get that, but don't you think that, all right, so why would, listen, I get it, you can go blame WWF, Vince McMahon, whoever you want about the death and accuse them and put the blame and point the finger at them. But the bottom line is that, hey, he went out there, he knew the risk,
yeah,
and things happen. Unfortunately, shit happened.
yeah,
But
agreed.
but why would you basically hold your husband out of the WWE and enshrined with his career, his legacy? Why would you hold that against your husband? Because this is not about you, and it's not about the death. It's about what he did and what he stood for.
Yeah,
And you're just gonna go ahead and stand in the way. You're gonna be that much of a bitch to stand in the way. I don't get it.
I 100% agree. And the fans want it. They've been asking for it for so long that it's like, I get it. She's upset, but don't keep him away from the fans. He belongs to everybody. We all loved what Owen did.
Let's summarize it in one sentence. He gave his life doing what he loved, and you're not going to go ahead and allow him to be enshrined?
Yeah, that is kind of selfish. Now, that is selfish.
And I think, and I want to piggyback on that. I think for me, Triple H has a golden opportunity here with the new regime at WWE.
Yep.
What I would do is, if I were him, I would go to Brett and I would put a full court press on Brett and try to get him to get on board, and then slowly work your way to Martha, and then go at her with a full court press and go, listen, it's different times. We're under different management. We want Owen to come home and take his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame. Can we please get your blessing? Because you only need the blessing one time.
Yep.
You only need it one time. If she will say yes, then they induct him, and it's over. She can be mad after that.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna support WWE anymore, but they only need that one blessing. I would put the full court press on her right now.
And the fact that there's two names that come to mind that are in the Hall of Fame now that we thought we would never get because of the bad blood. One of them being Bruno Sammartino, just the animosity with him and Vince, and Triple H, God bless the man, stepped in and goes, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and did what he did to get him in. And the second being, of course, the Ultimate Warrior. All the shady stuff that he did back in the day. Okay, fine, he did it. I'm sure there are other people that did the same thing. Don't hold it against him. Just he was young. He wanted power. He wanted to be, he wanted to be this. He wanted to be that. So don't hold it against him. As we get older, we tend to realize, oh, that was really fucking stupid to do. So we can learn from our mistakes. That being said, I have two names I'm going to throw out there. One of them is not even a professional wrestler, but he is the soundtrack to everything that we knew from the 80s all the way up until maybe 10 years ago. And that is Jim Johnston, the composer for WWE. Why is this man not in the Hall of Fame? I get it. He's not a professional wrestler, but he wrote.
Neither is Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
Neither is Donald Trump.
Yeah. You've got all these people. Pete Rose is in the fucking Hall of Fame. We couldn't get Pete in the Baseball Hall of Fame. We sure as hell got him in the WWE Hall of Fame.
I think that's going to change, by the way.
Too. Yeah, I saw something about that. Yeah. And it took him dying for them to go, oh, maybe we should change our mind here. But Jim Johnston writing all of these songs that we all know and love, and I have on my iPhone. I have every one of his songs on my iPhone and use them when I work out. You know, they're motivating. And then my second one, and I mentioned it at the very beginning of the show, Chris Benoit. I understand what he did. I understand that what he did was really fucked up.
And this is where I go ahead and stand on the cusp of Lex. Lex had the ability to go ahead and turn his life around and maybe say he's sorry and forgiveness. Benoit ended on that note. And again, you could probably go ahead and say, well, that's because of, he had no brain left after taking all these chair shots and all the rest of it. I mean, you can make that argument and that's fine. But at the end of the day, I don't know, man. I mean, I get we're going to induct him for what he did in the ring and not for what he did in his personal life.
And that's my argument is that.
But man, it's just a bad feeling. It's just one of those things that I don't think will go over very well. Or maybe it will. Maybe the fans will say, put him in because of what he did in the ring. We understand he was shitty at the end, and he took 2 other lives. But that's hard to swallow, man.
Oh no, and I totally understand that. But my philosophy is you're not inducting the man off of his actions out of the ring. It's in the ring. And right. the man was a freaking magician in the ring. One of the best mat wrestlers I've ever seen.
Yeah. He one of the best wrestlers ever.
Yeah.
But the thing that comes down to it, it's kind of like why Pete Rose was held out, not because he wasn't awesome on the baseball field, because he gambled in his personal life. That's why he was held out. This guy killed 2 people and himself. So it was all about basically the public image. I mean, they were ready to celebrate his life, and all of a sudden more details came out, and the next Raw, we're not going to mention him at all, blah, 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 and we're going to erase everything in history. Why would you put somebody in the Hall of Fame if you're erasing his history?
Well, see, I think they jumped the gun on, and it's funny, that empty arena show was filmed in Corpus Christi, Texas, which is my hometown. And I remember, I think I was still in the Navy at the time when this happened. But my brother was supposed to go to the show, and I go, well, we can't go, Benoit. And I hadn't even heard about it until that moment. They really jumped the gun on it. They should have waited till they had more details before they were like, let's do a tribute show to the man. Versus, we're going to go full bore. We're going to do what we got to do. And I didn't agree. I still to this day don't agree they should have went full bore. Like, oh, we're going to honor the man knowing absolutely nothing about what happened. But it is what it is. It happened.
Yeah, I think they put a lot of trust in the fact that but they never thought he would do anything like this.
Yeah. And
never in years. No way.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna make my prediction now. I think that WWE will take the road less traveled, and what they will do is they will induct the Radicals into the WWE Hall of Fame at some point. I don't know that it will be in the next 5 years, but they'll induct the Radicals into the WWE Hall of Fame and see what kind of feedback they get. See if it's enough that they could deal with inducting Chris Benoit on his own. But at some point, I do think that Benoit will be a 2-time, or at least 2-time WWE Hall of Famer.
And it's funny you mentioned that because they did the same thing with China when they put in DX. Like they weren't sure if they wanted to put her in, so they put in DX because she was a part of that. And the fan response was overwhelming. And we bring up Michelle McCool being in the Hall of Fame. Why the fuck is China not in the Hall of Fame as an individual? That woman broke down barriers for the women's division.
Why is woman not in the WWE Hall of Fame?
We'll never know. And I like to think with Triple H at the helm, he is a student of the game. He is at the core, he's a fan. And the product has gotten so much better since WrestleMania 39. 40 off the chain. 41 is looking like it's going to be better than last year, and I didn't think that would be possible. So, moving on from the Hall of Fame, I saw a report that Carmella, apparently they just let her contract lapse and they didn't re-sign her. And I'll be paraphrasing. She pretty much feels like she's being punished because she had a child. And
no, she's being punished because she's associated with Corey Graves, who wanted to be a man baby.
No argument about that.
I don't think it had anything to do with it having a kid, because as many people that have left, had kids, came back, and no problem. No, her association with Corey Graves, it's like, it's better with no witnesses. You know, the mob mentality.
Well, and that being said, too, you know, Becky Lynch announced that she was having a baby right after the WrestleMania during COVID. There have been several other female superstars that have gone on to have a child and have come back. The difference being is that when they came back, they were still relevant. I think Carmella missed the bus. She was very one-dimensional character. She always had to have somebody helping her to win. And yeah, you have that with Chelsea Green, but Chelsea Green is so over with the fans that they can do no wrong. And
I love the character. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. And the fact that we got what we had last night on SmackDown, granted she's getting more help, but the fans are like, who the fuck cares? We love Chelsea Green. I think it may have something to do with the whole Corey Graves thing, which is a whole other story in itself. Corey Crabbaby in his own. But I do feel that Carmella just wasn't there. It's her story was gone. And even Alexa Bliss left, but the fans were like, well, when is she coming back? I never once saw on any thread or any bulletin or anything like, well, when's Carmella coming back?
To be honest with you, I thought, I didn't even know she was gone.
and that's horrible.
Carmella's out. What? Oh, yeah, that's right. Carmella.
Yeah, she's been gone for a minute. Yeah.
10, 20 years.
Yeah.
Has she not signed with AEW yet? What's going on?
Yeah, it's just so, and I just think she was so one-dimensional, and they really couldn't do anything else with her. So they're probably like, well, good, we'll just let the contract lapse out. The same they did with Sonya Deville. Like, well, we're going to let your contract lapse and you're gone.
Honestly, I didn't think she was that great either. Anyway, I mean.
Carmella or Sonya Deville?
No, both.
Oh, yeah, both, yeah.
They're dead weight.
Well, to be fair, Sonya was not that great after Mandy Rose left. So, that's just my opinion.
She was boring at best, even when she was an authority figure. I mean, that's dead weight. Get out of here. Go sign with AEW. Make them do dead weight.
Yeah, which is what they're doing anyway. Now to the meat and potatoes of the show, the topic that everybody's been talking about, even in the mainstream media. Jon Stewart talked about it on the Daily Show. The John Cena heel turn, the swerve that nobody saw coming. And it's
I didn't even know too, but in the Busted Open podcast, Bully Ray even said, dude, I had the wool pull over my eyes and that never happened. When he says something like that,
yeah,
shit went down that nobody expected. I don't care if you went ahead and moaned about it. Oh yeah, I knew it was gonna. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
From what I understand, only 3 people knew about it. It was Cena, The Rock, actually 4. It was Cena, The Rock, Triple H, and Cody. They were the only ones that knew, and they knew if it leaked, it was one of them. They kept it very tight-lipped.
That's the way it needs to be.
Yeah, I agree.
How CM Punk went ahead and reappeared, only 2 people knew. Actually 3. Punk, Triple H, and Punk's lawyer.
Yeah.
That's it. And the deal wasn't even done until, I think, right before the last match ended.
True. Yep.
The ink wasn't even dry, and he's hitting music.
And he's walking out going, yeah, y'all fucking missed me. I'm back. But it's funny because I went back and watched it again, just the very end of the match. And didn't notice it the first time, but the second time, Cena was way too pomp and circumstance. He was way too happy. He was very animated. And I'm like, dude, there's no way. Is it really going to happen? And all the pieces were lined up. And then when Cena gave the hug and then that scowl, and I'm like, oh no, it's going to happen.
That's classic.
And then took him to Kick City and unleashed the fury that is. And Kyle, I'll start with you. What did you think of the heel turn?
I am terrified to jump in with two wrestling professionals and say this, and I would not say this if I did not have a witness. I know. I see it. I hear it coming.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, we value your opinion here. We may not agree with it, but we'll value it.
I was watching Elimination Chamber, and as it got to the end, I'm sorry, the heel turn. I apologize. The heel turn. I was watching, and my wife, as a witness, sitting on the couch at the other end, I said, John, do it. Do it now. Now's the right time. Do this now. And then it couldn't have been 30 seconds later that The Rock is doing the throat slash and everything else. I was with you. I kind of expected it for WrestleMania because that seems to be the showcase to do something like that.
Yeah.
But as I watched everything unfold, there was something in me, and it's easy to say after the fact, but there was something in me as I was watching that. I said, do it now. It's been 20 years. Do it now. This is the right time. Do it. And then when it happened, my wife looked at me and she goes, I don't know how you get this. And I said, I've been watching it since 85. I mean, I watch, pay attention.
What about you, Charles? What did you think?
This, besides Punk, John Cena has been one of my favorite wrestlers for a long time. Number one, because of how good of a babyface he was, the way he could mix it up in the ring. He's one of the best on the mics. He's not a great wrestler, don't get me wrong, but he's a great performer. He's a hard worker.
Yeah.
He's also from West Newbury, Mass. I'm born in Rhode Island, so him and I, we're like massholes a little bit.
I haven't heard that term in a very long time. That's funny. I have a Navy buddy who's from Rhode Island too. That's funny.
So when I'm watching this, and I had a trip to Disney World, and I'm in the hotel room, and I'm watching this, and it's like, okay, Cody, and all of a sudden I hear, go fuck yourself. Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. This is not PG
No,
anymore.
it's not. It really isn't. And I was like, dude, he's dropped an F-bomb in the middle of a promo.
And I'm seeing Cena all hyped up, all animated and all that stuff. And I'm not thinking anything of it because Cena is animated.
Yeah, that's true.
Animated. So, but the pause with, I think there's about a minute of no talking.
Yeah.
Everybody looking around. You have Travis Scott over there being a clown.
Yeah.
You got Rock saying, "Did you really just fucking say that to me?"
Yeah.
Like in his mind and stuff. Then he looks at Cena and then you see a little grin. And then finally Cody does okay, I guess this is take two now. Points to Cena, points to himself, championship, shakes his hand, gets the hug. The moment I saw the throat slash and I saw that pale looking face, I'm thinking, no fucking way. He finally did it, and that's where the reality sunk in. He turned heel. The question I have now is really December his final match? Or is he just going to flip around and say, I'm going to ride this as long as I can. If I'm hot and my heel turn is hot, listen, this is the farewell tour.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
We don't know when it's going to end. I think he takes this all the way to the end, and somewhere along the line, could be next WrestleMania, somewhere along the line, he punks out Rock. Because he had real beef with him
Yep.
I think that beef has been squashed now. I think they're actually friends.
Yeah.
But I think the real beef is to take him out, because Rock kind of took him out last WrestleMania when, everybody came to Cody's defense and the bloodline and everything like that. So I think The Rock and Cena, I think there's a part 3, and that's going to be his last match.
Yeah, I agree. And the best movies are in trilogies. So
The real winner in all of this, besides the fans, is the meme generators with the look of Cena's face and cold.
Oh yeah.
This has been endless content for the internet to see that dark-eyed look of John Cena. It's been fantastic.
As my wife would say, Ernest went crazy.
Yeah, I saw that one. One of my favorite ones, it was The Rock with Cena and Travis Scott, and they have a name for the faction, the Break-A-Wish Foundation. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, dude, that is fucking funny.
And I have questions about this too. I'm like trying to figure out. Okay, Cena has had a long reputation in regards to being the face of the company.
Yeah.
Obviously, he hasn't been in a while, but he has been the face of Make-A-Wish for a long time.
True.
And turning heel is a huge risk. Even listen, I get it. This is the last opportunity for that heel turn, which he adamantly embraced back 10 years ago, where they were going to do it, but it's like, we're way too invested in it. This is just going to be bad for business. Keep striving on. Even though you had half the arena saying Cena sucks, it's still best for business. Just keep being the baby face. But he was embracing the heel turn and everything. Now, the exciting part is we get to see what that heel turn was going to be, or maybe something new, because I don't think it's Thugonomics anymore. I think it's something different.
See, and I've seen that on the internet. I kind of want him to go back to the Thugonomics theme and go back to not wearing. Come on. Hip hop has dudes in their 60s still doing their thing. Come on.
You can't do a 47-year-old white rapper, though. I mean, you could probably do Snoop Dogg at 70, but no, if he was white, it ain't going to happen.
Have you met Eminem? I'm just saying. But I've been wanting a heel turn for a while. I'm hoping to build heat for it, and I just thought that's why we were talking about it. We were talking about the Make-A-Wish. Do a singlet or like a promo where he's going to a Make-A-Wish. It's totally stated, it's not the real thing. Where he's going to a Make-A-Wish kid, and he pretty much unveils the true John Cena to this kid. Fuck you. What the fuck's wrong with you? You're something along those lines. I will not write this for them, but something along those lines that will give him so much heel heat that people are going to be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with John Cena? And I'm waiting for that first promo when he comes out, and I hope his first lines are, "Can you see me now?" If he doesn't start his promo that way, it's a fail.
I like that. I like it.
The first kid from Make-A-Wish that he meets up with, when John walks in with the "Don't Give Up" shirt, and the kid looks at him and says, "Well, you did, cocksucker," he's going to become viral. That kid will never want for anything ever again, because somebody somewhere, one of those kids is going to go, "You gave up on us." So you're right. It's a huge risk with the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
But it's a huge reward with all of the publicity that's happening right now.
Oh, agreed.
I don't know if it's fabricated. 500 million views on all social media. I don't know if it's fabricated, because you know how WWE is with fabrication. But they're saying 500 million views, the most watched content.
I agree with that, because people are in shock. I've watched it 4 or 5 times myself. Like, I can't believe it actually happened.
500 times. I think I'm half of that.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, it's something that, and I've been a Cena fan since day one. Day one, I was like, dude, this dude's going to do something special. And granted, we didn't get it for a couple of years. And I'm so much a Cena fan that you can't see it, but I have hanging a custom-made Cena You Can't See Me ball cap that I only wear for events. And under the bed in the belt bag is the Spinner US belt. I fucking love that belt.
Let me ask you two gentlemen the question. With this, do you think he gets 17 at WrestleMania?
Oh. See, before all this, I was thinking Money in the Bank. I was thinking he was going to win Money in the Bank. I didn't even see the heel turn in the future. Now, oh yeah, it'll be number 17 at WrestleMania. It has to be.
And follow-up question. Does he bring the Spinner belt back?
Or they redesign it.
Well, yeah. It's gonna obviously it's gonna have the. It's not the scribbled WWE anymore. It's gonna be what it is now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to disagree there. I don't think that he wins the title at WrestleMania, and it's to your point. I think what WWE sees is dollar signs with this Cena heel turn, because you're like you said, there's no end date to this retirement tour.
That's true.
So I don't think he'll win the championship at WrestleMania, and I think it will drag this bad guy Cena out, and they're going to milk it for everything it's worth. And then at some point, he will have the realization where he'll go toe-to-toe with The Rock one more time. I do think that he will get his next WWE championship before this retirement tour, whenever it ends. But I don't think it's going to be at WrestleMania.
Or what they could do, and I just thought of this myself, like win it down the road, SummerSlam or whatever. Cena wins number 17. He's holding the belt. The Rock comes out, final boss, and he snatches the belt from Cena. And then that's when Cena has the realization that, whoa, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for him. And that's when he makes the turn back to face, as he attacks The Rock. And then they have their own little feud going up into the end of the year. Just an idea.
I get it. I think there are so many. I think there are so many opponents though that I think he wants to wrestle. Obviously Cody being one of them. But I think he wants to. I think. Listen, I would love to see a CM Punk and Cena one more time as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
Such a good feud. Randy Orton, Cena. I would love to see that. There's a lot of different things going on here. So the heel turn kind of goes one-dimensional a little bit. But, he's already made enemies with Randy Orton and CM. They already both called him out.
Yeah, they did.
So it's like, and then you have Dominic Mysterio actually saying, well, the one degenerate to another, my father and him now both. So maybe Dom, I don't know, Cena joining the Judgment Day.
I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. But
there is something going on that The Rock has two more people that he's going to align with Cena and himself. And I'm hearing it's Seth and Becky.
See, they tried doing a Becky heel turn. It just didn't work. Granted, it was against Charlotte, who people don't fucking care about anyway. But I can't stand. Oh, hold on. Let me move my head. You can see right there, NXT Becky autograph. Fucking love Becky.
Nice.
And I'm Irish too, so I have to love the home team. So,
even after having a kid, she's smoking.
Oh, did you read the book, by the way?
No, I didn't.
Read the book. It's fucking great. I did the audiobook. I cheated, but it definitely gives you a better perspective on her. And I will tell you that Seth wasn't too happy that she got to main event WrestleMania before he did. And that's in the book.
Holy crap.
Oh, what a pussy. I can't stand Seth Rollins.
But Charlotte just needs to go.
I agree. 100%.
Why do you need to come back?
Yeah.
Why?
Retire. Go away.
I do. I mean,
and she was limping half the time anyway. Go ahead.
True.
I can see now why Charlotte has not wrestled very much since she came back, because they're probably afraid her face is going to break. She's had brutal work done.
There it is.
I mean, when I first saw her when she came back, I was like, "Who the fuck is this?"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And then Charlotte Flair. Oh, that's great. She looks worse than Ric Flair.
Damn. That's saying a lot.
Less divorces.
You know, Andrade was like, yeah, she's not the same chick I married, so I'm out.
Get out of there. Hurry up, Ron.
Any last thoughts on the Cena heel turn? Again, it's gone mainstream. People in the news are talking about it. They had a number, I think it was 7,166 days as a face, and then just shits all over it.
I honestly will say this. WWE has made the product better. I will agree with you, Josh. But the problem is they still have fumbled the ball on a few things. The Wyatts, for instance, that was supposed to be big.
Yeah.
Came out to a big pop. What the hell's happened?
Well, Dallas got hurt. That's why. Yeah.
What you're doing now, though, and this is why I was very disappointed with Raw and SmackDown this past week. Where's Cena? He just turns his face, and then all of a sudden, 500 million views, and all we have is CM Punk, Randy Orton mentioned him, Cody comes out and basically is on fire. Where's Cena? He's out there shooting a movie. Bad effing timing, dude. You need to follow this up immediately.
No, I like the idea of letting it ferment, letting it sit. Because did you watch the press conference after the show?
I saw.
The mic drop.
The mic drop, yeah.
That spoke volumes. I'm like, okay, he has nothing to say. And it's like I said before, when he comes back and drops that first promo, it is going to be fucking fire. It has to be, because there's nobody, maybe Punk, maybe The Rock, that can match John Cena on the microphone.
Let me ask you both this, Kyle and Josh. Let me ask you both this. Because now, obviously, Cena sold his soul. Now it's The Rock.
Yeah.
Does The Rock even allow Cena to talk?
That would be genius, actually. If they kept Cena silent for a couple of weeks and he didn't say anything, that would really draw this storyline into WrestleMania. That's actually genius. But Charles, I did want to tag on to one quick thing you said about the Wyatt Six, and this can be fodder for another show. But the biggest loser so far in the Wyatt Six debacle has been Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, agreed.
You've got Alexa Bliss, who came back with star power and everybody was glad to see her. And you knew that she was headed toward eventually being the sixth member of the Wyatt Six. And now the Wyatt Six is sitting on the sidelines with their thumb up their asses.
Well, wasn't it publicly known that she didn't want to come back to that six at that time? Like, she didn't want to have anything to do with it.
No, she didn't. But that's the direction that they were going to send her, was as the sixth member of the Wyatt Six. And now, now they've got to pivot with her, who's arguably the biggest star in the female division.
Arguably, I would say right now that would be Rhea, even though she lost her title on Raw. I think Rhea is the new face of the female division, taking over for Becky, because Becky for a long time was the face, especially after she got knocked the fuck out by Nia Jax on SmackDown that one time. I mean,
yeah, I think there's a lot of women here that can go ahead and step in, and that's the other reason why I say go the fuck away, Charlotte, because there's a lot of women right there. I mean, Tiffany Stratton can easily go ahead and be that face because she's got everybody behind her.
Oh, 100%.
She knows how to. She's a great worker, great charisma. I mean, she easily can go ahead and take that title of face of the women's division. Io Sky. She doesn't have the charisma because obviously half her message is in Japanese.
That's okay, though.
But she's smoking. But I'm just saying, she does get it. I think she deserves it because she's a hell of a worker.
Yeah.
Bianca, same thing.
Me, I would rather give Charlotte Flair a 30-minute segment on Raw and SmackDown than listen to the Bianca and Naomi reveal.
Oh, that was terrible.
We will save that one for another episode because I have my own theories on that. I don't think that's over yet. Not by a long shot.
It may not be, but it was horrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
If they have, I know they have the Slammies, but if they have some sort of Razzie for the WWE, that's got to be up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hearing two women cry, I don't want to hear that shit.
No, instantly was like, ugh. Just like, nope, no care. And people tend to forget that Asuka is still on the shelf too. She has yet to make a comeback, and we haven't seen Kairi Sane in quite a minute too. So there are a lot of female competitors that it's like, okay, Charlotte, you're gone. Carmella, it was nice, but you got to go. But
There's no room for. See, here's the thing I have about Charlotte. She's been gone. She's legitimately injured, still injured.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. That knee is never going to be 100%.
Nope.
You need to step aside and let the other women, go ahead and flourish, because now you're going ahead. You're immediately taking a spot at WrestleMania, which you did not deserve.
Yeah, 100%.
You need to step aside.
Now, granted, when Becky did the same thing at the Rumble a couple years back, it set up the triple threat between her, Ronda, and Charlotte, which, with the exception of the end of that match, which was very, very botchy, it was a great fucking match.
And in my opinion, if WWE will let this happen, I think you've got a heel turn coming from Dakota Kai, and I do think that Dakota Kai, with some coaching, with some help, I do think that she could potentially get inserted into that upper tier. But it's going to take some work. But she will. I do think that she can get in that upper tier, but it's going to take that heel turn.
I don't agree with that. Here's why. I don't think Dakota Kai is that good of a heel. They already tried it with Damage Control. They already
true.
tried turning everybody heel, and she was the leader of that Damage Control at that time. I don't think she's that good of a heel. I don't think she's gonna get that much heat.
Charles, are you a better bad guy now, or were you a better bad guy 20 years ago? You're a better bad guy now.
Oh,
you've got
wow!
You've got that swagger. You've got that moxie. That you're a better bad guy now. She's had a couple of years. She tried and failed. What's the best thing that can happen for a wrestler?
To fail.
Try and fail. So she tried and failed. She sat back. She's played the nicey good girl. Now I think it's time to give her another shot.
And if you don't believe about failing and succeeding from a failure, talk to John Cena about that. I guarantee you he'll tell you his story, because he was that close to getting released.
Yeah.
And Stephanie heard him doing the rapping in the back and was like, "Can you do that on camera?" Fuck yeah, I can.
I agree, Josh. Yeah, there's different circumstances and different things. Like, let's put it this way. Ask Omos, hey, how's it be to be a heel? Where is it? Ask Bobby Lashley how it is to be a heel.
Oh, damn, you went there.
He went there. Just saying, it's like you can try and fail so many times before your ass is the door.
That's true.
I don't think Dakota Kai has that much credit and moxie yet, where she can fail again and still be around.
I'm pretty sure that Omos brought my Walmart Plus order earlier today.
Damn.
Exactly. That's where you are.
Damn.
That's where he is.
But truth be told, though, this will be the last thing I'll mention about Dakota Kai, is that she has been very injury prone. So it's hard to give her a set, heel or face run when she's always on the shelf for a shoulder or for a knee or whatever. I don't, if she can keep herself healthy, I'd like to see it. And if it fails, it fails. It happened. We'll move on.
I didn't necessarily say the heel turn was going to be as a wrestler.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, shit. Didn't think of that.
That's a twist. Okay.
That's a plot twist I didn't see coming. Okay. Well, you know what? I think on that, we will conclude the show. Gentlemen, y'all are fucking amazing. Definitely got to have you guys on again. But before we do that, Charles, would you like to promote any podcasts or anything that you do? Throw it out there for the tens and tens of my fans to listen to.
So my main show is actually a open topic talk show. It's called The Charles Richardson Show. You can see it on my Facebook and YouTube channels. And I also am streaming live every Monday and Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. It is a live call-in show. I do have a number, so if you ever want to go ahead and interact live, you can do that. Monday and Wednesday, 8 to 10 Eastern. And then coming up during the UFL season, my show, The Touchdown Crew, will also premiere as well. Time and date has yet to be done, and we also do live watch parties as well.
All right, Mr. Kyle, your turn, sir.
I'd like to first of all give a quick shout out to my buddy Fred Ottman, Typhoon, and the late John Tenta, Earthquake. It's time to get them in the WWE Hall of Fame. They brought us thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of entertainment, even if you just take in consideration the Shockmaster. So we need Fred Ottman in the WWE Hall of Fame. As for me, my wife and I do a podcast on sports called Doggone Sports. We also do a podcast on true crime called The Last Clue. You can find more information about both of those at smithmediateam.com. That is our website, smithmediateam.com. We do cuss on our sports podcast. We try to keep it clean on the Last Clues, but we'd love a follow. We love commentary. Anything you can give us, we certainly appreciate, and thank you for having us on.
Well, it was a pleasure having both y'all on. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Josh Zodiac. You can find my podcast, the Josh Zodiac Podcast, on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and anywhere else you can find podcasts. You can also follow me on TikTok. I am now officially at 1,000 followers, so now I can go live. Yeah. Oh, where's the applause? Hold on. Yeah, that'll work too. I couldn't find mine quick enough. But again, TikTok, just search up the Josh Zodiac podcast. I also have a Facebook page. I will post memes and different news things that I may talk about on my show. And I am also the voice of Apex Championship Entertainment back home in Corpus Christi, Texas. Follow that particular YouTube page. We are due for our first PLE dropped. Hasn't dropped, but we're still waiting to do commentary. It should be dropping soon. Once that drops, I will share that on my page. And again, gentlemen, it was an absolute pleasure having you both on. Any last notes before I close out the show? We'll start with you, Mr. Kyle.
Retire Charlotte Flair.
I knew that was coming. Charles, you.
Rock Cena 3. Thank you for having me.
And for me, I'm going to end it on bring back Becky, my beautiful Irish wife. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, this again was the Josh Zodiac Podcast. I am the Josh Zodiac. We hope you join us for our next episode. Until next time, on your left. It's the Josh Zodiac Podcast.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.